So I'm in Jacksonville and I am lost. So I'm doing the show today with Rob Landers of Florida Today. While I'm in my car, I'm totally parked, keeping it safe. Rob, this has never happened before. I've got to dance. Come on, Rob, dance with me. I'm doing the show from my car.
From your car. From your car. No excuses. No one has any excuses not to be able to do what they say they're doing. You're doing your show from your car.
I am. Oh,
no
my God.
Excuses.
Just let me know if you can hear me or not. Oh, car. Dog. I can hear your dog.
Yes, I know. I can't shut him up.
This is too funny.
Need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friends. So nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show, the purpose of the show is to provide a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening as well as my viewing friends, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, today is one of these days where nothing is going to seem normal for me. So for those of you who will later watch me on Zoom or on YouTube or on Facebook, the video of this, what you don't know, I don't know if I should tell people so that maybe they'll want to go and find out. What do you think, Rob?
This is the most unusual radio program I've ever been a part of. So
good thing you've been a part of the show before. Okay, so I'm going to let you know what happened. So we have some wonderful friends. Yeah, go ahead and mute. So I have some wonderful friends that told me to ignore my GPS and just keep going straight on Phillips. And I did, and I found myself touring Jacksonville. I have no idea where I'm at. But I pulled the car aside because I believe that we should be safe. And I am doing my interview today with Rob Landers in my car. So this is going to be like, we need to rename the show today. It's like Driving in Cars with Lily or Interview in My Car with Lily. I have no idea what we're going to call this show. But perhaps maybe you can text me your suggestions at 407-373-5959. But I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I hope that that we'll be able to do this, Rob. I'm glad that you've been on my show before. But okay, so I'm just going to get started with the show. I'm going to stop explaining. Maybe they'll let me in at Stonewoods during the break. I can ask them to let me in. But so this is really, really a very important show. Rob Landers, as you know, has been on my show before. We actually did the movie, we dissected the movie Fight Club, and he had so many powerful insights. We decided that we were going to maybe look at another movie, which I did, Collateral Beauty, which I want to talk a little bit about that. Also, there's a little bit of a pet peeve that Rob has, and I thought, this is very timely. So let's talk about how some people pour their souls out on social media, and while others use social media to chastise other people's beliefs. Many relationships get ended. Many relationships end because of a difference of opinion. And as you know, we try to find commonality on the Lillian McDermott radio show. But Rob lately has been writing this social media for dummies, kind of like the I would call it the 10 Commandments, although I think he's up 17. I don't know. I can't remember how many.
That is correct.
But so I invited Rob back because we want to talk about Collateral Beauty, which I think is a beautiful, I'm giving it away because I wouldn't let him know if I liked the movie or not. But since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful to Rob Landers because he is here to do just that. Welcome, Rob, to the Lillian McDermott radio show.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm so glad I could be in the car with you.
Yes, riding in cars with Lily, although Lily's car is parked right now because we need to end distracted driving. And we made a decision about, should we do this? Should we not do this? But this is important. How did you come up with these 10 commandments, Rob?
So I was on Facebook, and a friend of mine had posted. It was probably completely benign. She probably didn't think anything about it, but she posted a video that was very polarizing in her group of friends. Half of her friends are in theater. Half of her friends are, NRA gun-toting Republicans, and so I mean, you can see the division there.
Sure.
And it was very, very polarizing. And she put this post up and kind of said, "Here it is," and walked away from it. And just this rage just ensued between these two sides of the issue, and it was like, okay, you need to do something about this. You need to fix this. Me kind of thinking this at her, because it was kind of her responsibility. She put it out there. She should be, kind of at least moderating this. So that's what started the whole. I've been seeing the division for several years now on Facebook, and seeing my friends become more and more polarized, and that's what kind of was the impetus for the rules. So
yes, absolutely. And so that's what we're talking about. Although you're beyond 10, I thought let's focus on the 10, because of the 10 commandments, the thou shall. For us, for who we love social media, let's keep in mind social media should be used to be social, and perhaps maybe do it for good. And we're going to continue our Rob Landers of Florida Today. I didn't even say he was my bestie from Florida Today. When we return worldwide, when you need a friend, I know. I don't know. Both of them are like neck and neck. When we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com, right here waiting for you. This is insane! Am I still on? Rob, you're frozen. Or am I frozen?
All right.
This is the background stuff. I don't even have control of the record button today. I am totally out of control. Maybe I can ask Stonewood if they will allow me to inside their Wi-Fi. Maybe I can steal Wi-Fi. Can you hear me, Rob?
I can hear you. But
you're frozen. Let me see what I can do here.
Well, I'm not moving a whole lot, so.
No, but you're stuck like this.
Rob's not.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be stuck like that.
What can we do? So can you see us both?
I see you both. You were freezing at times, but Rob never froze.
Oh, so I'm the one that's frozen?
Mm-hmm.
Rob, you're the cutest.
Thanks.
Well, although I would say that you're up there with, with Tim. You're up there with Tim. I think that.
Good. I would hope so.
Yeah. Well, both of you are neck and neck.
Well,
I think I need to steal some Wi-Fi. Why don't you pause the recording and see what I can do? Tell me how much time we have left.
30
Brian, 30 seconds? Okay, so I guess I can't do anything right now. So when we start, Brian, or Rob, let's talk about Collateral Beauty real quick,
okay.
And then we'll go into the 10 Commandments.
Okay.
Let me know. Send me a message when we're on, just in case I can't hear it. I'm kind of tempted to listen to the radio. Are we on, or am I frozen?
You're not frozen.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, there it is.
That was the longest 30 seconds, don't you think? Okay, I'm just setting up my office. I'm like this homeless woman.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where we always learn and grow with one another. Today's teacher is Rob Landers of Florida Today. Now, the last time Rob was on, we were talking about how art imitates life, or is it life that imitates art? And so Rob challenges me to see certain shows, movies that I may not normally have seen. And the one he really wanted me to see was Collateral Beauty. And I can honestly say, what a gift to watch that movie, Rob. Thank you so much. The movie did not do very well in the box office. And so not that that matters to me, but I thought it was beautifully done. For people who are in mourning, I would say, or people who have experienced someone who has lost a loved one, it gives you a different perspective of what people go through. So share why that was such an impactful movie for you.
So in 2004, I lost a child, infant,
Yes.
and fast forward to a year and a half ago, and this movie came out, and I knew the premise of the movie. So Will Smith is the lead character, loses his daughter to a rare form of cancer. She's 7 years old. But in the very beginning of the movie, Will Smith lays out these three things that tie us all together.
Mm-hmm.
Love, we all long for love. Time, we all want more time. And death, we all fear death. Those are the three constant things that link all of humanity together. And they're the things that make us human.
Mm-hmm.
And so through the course of this movie, he starts writing letters to love, time, and death. And his colleagues, who are all very worried about him, hire these actors to come in and play love, time, and death to actually interact with him and engage with him. And there's a moment in the movie where when Will Smith is his daughter is dying, his wife is sitting in the hospital room, and someone says to her, "Be sure to notice the collateral beauty." And what affected me the most from all of this is when you go through something like that, when you go through that kind of loss, if you can, in the years past, and trust me, there is nothing in this world that would make me, that I would rather have than to have that child back.
Sure.
But if you can look back on your life and see how, what has been provided to you and the blessings that you have since that has happened, you can actually start to see the collateral beauty from that event.
Yes.
So that's why it just hit me the way it did. So
well, it absolutely, I loved it. I loved the fact that dealing with sadness, compassion. The movie dealt with, like I said, people mourning, and I'm still processing that movie. Because it had so many different, and of course we don't want to give away the ending. The people that played love, time, and death, that was not a surprise to me. I had a feeling, I knew that how that was going to end, but the
right.
final ending, that right there, I'm still processing. So for those of you who have not seen Collateral Beauty, you owe it to yourself, because it will teach you how to find the beauty in everything. We focus on the negative side of life, collateral damage. But what I loved about this movie, which is what we talk about on the Lillian McDermott radio show, is to find beauty in everything. And how the whole movie how it all works together at the end was brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. It just touched my heart beyond. I cannot believe the critics did not like it, and that movie didn't do well in the box office. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think so. The movie follows a format where you have a main storyline, but then there's separate storylines that kind of break off of it. Very much like Love Actually, or New Year's Day, or Valentine's Day, or those kind of movies where you have several stories and then all of a sudden they all kind of come together in the end.
Yes.
And I almost feel like the population in general is starting to get tired of those kind of romantic comedies. Give me a Harry Met Sally again. One of those where it's just one kind of storyline. But this movie in particular, and it's a real shame that happened, because I think this movie in particular spoke to people in a way, at least it spoke to me in a way that a movie hasn't spoken to me in a long time.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, it's amazing how grief carries on. I just did an interview with Ken Block from Sister Hazel, and he shares a story of his grief and how he dealt with grief growing up. Growing up, he lost his brother at the age he was 16. His brother was 14, and they were best friends. And that loss gave him a guilt, and he shares all this, and we're going to be airing that show next Friday, and I'm just really thrilled that I was able to capture some of these moments after seeing Collateral Beauty, and wouldn't have made so much sense. And so anyway, I wanted to just tap into, because that was our original show that we were going to do, and so now what I'd like to do is shift gears, because you know, people pour their souls in social media. Some people are hurting. Some people are, you know, angry. Some people just need to vent. And we engage in a way that, like when people go through grief, which I think these two kind of intertwine here, when people go through grief and others don't understand what it's going through, we want to minimize and say, oh, don't feel that way. And so your rule number 10 is something about a picture's worth 1,000 words, but a rant lasts forever. So let's talk a little. Those are the names I gave your commandments.
Well, thanks for naming them. So yeah, it's not a big surprise. I mean, Instagram has built a business model off of this. That, you know, instead of going in and just blowing up on social media and completely going off on whatever you're talking about, post a picture. If you're in a mood where you're just kind of in this dark place, fine. Take a black photo and put it up. If you're in a place where you're in a light photo, take a light photo and put it up. A
Yeah.
picture can say a whole lot more and will be less damaging to you in the long run than if you go on a rant and, you know, start torching bridges that you've taken a lifetime to build. So
Yes, yes. And so do you find that in your own life that you see a lot of people who are, you know, I notice the people that are ranting and the people that are taking them on, it blows up where you're just looking on the outside going, I can't believe this. And everybody's right. And everybody's right.
What? Right. And nobody is right. And you know, you're wondering if it was in reality, people would have bruises from banging their head against the wall trying to get their point across. It's becoming very, very frustrating. I've been spending a lot more time on Instagram rather than on Facebook these days, because I would rather go scroll through and see pictures of people's lives than to hear just the nonsense rants and negativity. And it's a little bit of a happier place.
Okay, so are we done with rule number 10? Can we move on to number 9?
Yeah.
Okay, so I call this one rule number 9 that you shared with me. I interpret it as think before you speak, or
Correct.
Think before you type.
Right. That's exactly right. You know, you've heard the phrase over and over again throughout your entire life, think before you speak. Well, it should be no different on social media or in email or in text. And think about how that's going to be interpreted, not just the words that you're using, but how are those words going to be interpreted? Is someone going to interpret a tone in those words? You know,
Yeah.
I am very fluent in sarcasm. And sometimes when I am sending an email, that sarcasm comes through on my side, at least when I'm typing it in. It doesn't always read that way on the other side. So just, you really have to think about what you're saying before you say it. Same thing with typing. Before you type it, think about what you're typing and what the impact is going to be on the other side. Now, I should say, Lily, that, you know, every one of these rules ends with, or at least it should, ends with the hashtag just be kind. Just be kind. Because you never know what kind of day the person on the other end of that message is having. So just be kind. So that's
you're right.
number 9.
You're right. So that with that number 9, it's when you really need to say something, you can do it privately, right?
Yes. Yeah, and that's actually a part of rule number 4. So,
oh, is it? Okay, I forgot about that one. I'll give it.
No, it's okay. No, I mean, there's a specific slant, but in that it says, you know, send a private message. And you can send a private message. You can send a text. You know, if whatever you do, don't do, you know, if it's a group message or a group email, don't reply all and just be, you know, nasty. That's never going to do anybody any good. So
no, but
yeah.
think before you hit that return button, before you hit that send button, think very well, because it's going to last forever. Although you can delete a comment, but the feelings are there. Okay, so rule number 8, which you
Okay.
talked a little bit about that one.
Yeah, if you're thinking about posting something that is going to be polarizing in your group of friends, you have gun-toting Republicans on one side, you have liberal artists on the other side.
Hatfields and McCoys.
Right. If you know that you're going to post something that's going to be polarizing, just don't do it. Where everybody is divided enough as it is. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Your friends don't need that kind of negativity in their life. Your Republican friends are never going to make your liberal friends understand their argument, on vice versa. Just don't post it. Just don't.
Very good. And that is one that gets a lot of people in trouble. We see relationships end. People get defriended, which I think is so funny. I'm going to defriend you. And, it is painful to be defriended.
It is. What is worse though is when I feel bad defriending or unfollowing someone. Unfollowing is a little bit less painful because you don't know that I've stopped following you. But what I'm noticing a lot more of now is that not only are there defriending, but it's defriending in real life, and it's causing real rifts in relationships that are moving away from the keyboard and moving into reality. And I think social media is damaging us in ways that we don't comprehend yet. So
yeah. And it's creating all sorts of new issues between relationships. First of all, I think people just don't know how to do face-to-face and how to interact with each other. And so when we're putting things down and defriending people, and it's almost like it's happening in real time, but it's not. It's all, to me, it's cowardice. It really is. It's so much easier for me to be in front of the person and say, hey, you know what? I did not like that. Can we create win-win? We're getting there. Yeah. Okay, so we can start rule number 7, but I know that we're about to go into a break. For those of you, let's hold off a second. For those of you who are listening to the Lillian McDermott radio show today, I got lost on my way to the station in Jacksonville. And so I am in my car. Maybe people can come join me. I have no idea where I'm at, but I think I'm like in front of the Stonewood Grill somewhere on Bay Meadows. And so if you want to come join me, let's have a party. And so Rob Landers is my guest today. And I'm really excited that we're getting to talk about, some of the things that we're thinking when it comes to social media, but we don't know how to articulate it. And every time I speak with Rob Landers of Florida Today, because he's the one that videotapes us for our television shows, with Tim Walters when I do my article, every time I'm in his presence, I say, you need to be a life coach. You need to be a life coach. So he's come up with the 10 commandments of social media. And I hope if you have an extra social media commandment that you'd like to share with me, 407-373-5959, call or text. And we're going to continue our conversation with Rob when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. I cannot believe I am doing this show in my car.
What's really funny though is like there's things moving, but there's cars going behind you, and so it's very engaging and very interactive, and like there's a lot.
I wish I could go into the Stonewood. What did you say?
You had a sheriff's deputy pull behind you when we first started. I'm like, oh, okay, Lily's good. She's safe. She's got like lots of things going on behind her.
If we were this reminds me of like in the carnival when it was like the pounding of the mole. It's like you see the people behind you and you're like pounding the mole.
407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where we always learn and grow together. You can hear us worldwide, and live in my car in Jacksonville. That's what's going on today. Just when you think that it was safe to go out in Jacksonville, I make a wrong turn and it takes me on a tour, a beautiful tour of the city. Jacksonville is a beautiful city, but when you don't know what you don't know, you find yourself in places where you didn't believe that you were going to be. So I am excited today because we're doing something new. I am doing my show. I'm somewhere in Bay Meadows. I see Yaffa Grill. I'm like near Stonewood, but the reality is we needed to make a decision, and this is the decision that we made. So I'm doing my show on Zoom, and I don't know where Rob Landers is. I don't even know if
I'm
he's.
right here.
Oh,
I'm right
there
here.
you are.
I'm
I did
here.
not see you.
Oh, yeah.
I did not see you. Okay, so this is where this is where we take 100% responsibility. Instead of going through all my social media and everything that I'm doing these days, I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Like me. If you like this show and follow me, because now I hear that following and liking are two totally different things. I need for you to follow me in social media and subscribe on my website. If you want to see what's happening in the background, you can go to my YouTube channel after the show, because you'll get to see the craziness, the decisions that have to be made. But what Rob said to me, no one has an excuse anymore. We are so connected with one another. And so that is what this show is about. It's about connecting to one another with what we have in common, what we can do to create bridges, as opposed to doing things that burn bridges. You mend them, mend the fences. I don't know how that expression goes. Rob will probably tell me later. But today we're talking about the 10 commandments of social media. He has like 17. He might be at 20. I have no idea. But we condensed them today. I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com, become a subscriber, and check out my sponsors, because you know what? I work very hard, and I know that there's sponsors out there who want to align themselves with this message of hope, that your bodies heal naturally, that you have a voice, and use your voice to be kind. Like Rob Lander says today, the hashtag that he uses, just be kind. It's just be kind. And if you're dealing with anger and you're dealing with other issues, then it's time to sit with why. Sit with your why. And, watch movies like Collateral Beauty. Maybe there's a death that you don't want to deal with in your life that's creating all sorts of damage in your body instead of the beauty in our life. So go to whenyouneedafriend.com, subscribe, follow me, go to my social media. There's lots of things to engage in the website. So be a part of that. So, and if you know somebody who would like to be a sponsor, send them my way, because we need sponsors to keep this show on the air. And so with that in mind, I want to thank Rob. Rob, thank you. I know you're very busy. You're very busy. And I really appreciate it that you're coming on to share your wisdom with all of us.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so before we left on the show, we were on rule number 7.
We were going into rule number 7, which is the it's not always about you.
Not always about you.
So
it isn't, Rob. It is about me.
Well, that's fine, and it can be about you. But here's the thing: there are going to be times when you have friends on social media that maybe you've done something and you've annoyed them, or something has happened between you, and you'll see their rant on Facebook. Unless they specifically say, "Lillian, you did this," it's not about you. Don't assume it's about you. Don't put that on yourself. It's not your cross to bear. If they want to vent about something that's happening in their life, that's not on you to assume. Now, if you have done something and what you're reading on their post is something that you have done and you feel guilt over that, that's on you. That's your choice to feel guilty. But it is not about you. And if it is about you and they're too much of a coward to say you did this, that's still on them, and it's not about you. Don't take that on yourself. Don't take on extra negativity just because somebody went off on Facebook.
Yeah. You don't create win-win with war. You don't you don't do that. So rule number 7, I really like that one. So unless they call you out on your stuff, you do not reply.
Right.
And if you know it's you, then privately have that conversation.
Correct. Hey, send a message.
Pick up the phone.
Right. So, or I mean, so a lot of people don't even like talking on the phone anymore. They'd rather just get a text message. That's fine. Send a text message and say, "Hey, I'm sorry if I offended you. I'm sorry that this happened. I'm sorry. And more than likely, you're going to get a response of, that wasn't about you. This happened with a coworker of mine, or this happened, with my next door neighbor, or my sister's kid did something, and it's not about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A guilty conscience, oh boy, what happens
Exactly.
there. You get a lot of trouble. You start seeing things that don't even exist. Okay,
That's right.
so because I want to get through all these rules, and we can go
Right.
back to any rule that we want to revisit. Rule number 5. Let's talk
Okay,
about
so
that one.
rule number 5 is a really easy one, and we can fly through this one very quickly. I call this the birthday rule. Facebook makes it really easy to know when your friends' birthdays are. If you want to go through and tell everybody on your friends list that happy birthday because it's their birthday, great. If you don't want to, that's fine too. You do you. No guilt, no consequence, no nothing. You don't have to do that. I personally like the way that my friend Sterling does this, which is he looks and sees whose birthdays it is and makes one big group post and tags everybody who is celebrating a birthday that day and says, I'm really glad that the universe saw fit to have our paths cross. I'm so glad you were born, and posts it, and he's done.
Yeah.
But the other half of this is, if you have 273 people who take the time out of their day to say happy birthday to you on social media, make sure that you take the time out of your day to thank all 273 of them, either by a like or a heart or a personal thank you on the post, but go through and at least click. And if you're going to go through and at least click like or put a heart on each one of them, at the end of the day, put up a post that says, thanks for all the birthday wishes, everyone. You really made my day special. If they're taking
Yeah.
time out of their lives to make sure that they greet you and say happy birthday to you, then you should say it back. If you were standing face to face with someone and somebody came up to you and looked you in the face and said, hey, Lillian, happy birthday, would you just ignore them? No, you'd respond and say, thank you so much. And you'd probably
If
start a
they're
conversation.
looking me, if they're looking me on the face, I'd go, gross.
Right, well, yeah. So,
You know what? I will
you
tell you
wouldn't,
this.
wouldn't ignore
I
them.
lick people in the face. No, I lick
Look,
people in the face. People don't
don't
know
lick
that about
people.
me.
Don't
I
lick
do.
people.
I do.
You look.
I have licked people. No,
Gross.
I do lick people.
Okay.
We'll have this conversation later. Okay,
Later.
let's go. Let's move on to number 6. Let's move on.
Vague booking. Do not vague book. Vague booking. Okay, so in the article that I wrote for Florida Today, I went a little bit further in this to give it a little bit of a description. But vague booking, don't do it. Just don't vague book. Vague booking, for those people who don't know what vague booking is when someone posts an intentionally vague comment to elicit attention. Like, oh, today really sucks. And then the comments start rolling in. It'll get better. It's okay. We love you. No. If you need attention, just ask for attention. But don't vague book. Don't go on and be intentionally vague about something. Oh, this day couldn't get any worse. Hey, look, you are your own best cheerleader. Buck up, camper. Don't put it in social media. If you need a friend, whenyouneedafriend.com, go and get some advice from somebody. Call a friend, call your mom. That's what you need to do there. So,
But don't you think that we have lost that personal connection? We have lost that personal connection, that the way we get attention now is what you call vague booking. I've never
yes.
heard of vague booking. If I need touch, if I need contact, I reach out to people.
I don't understand why we can't do that anymore. I don't understand why we can't do that anymore. And what it seems to me is like people just need more and more and more attention all the time, which is why social media and you have access to all of these friends all of the time. Well, okay, calm down. You don't need that much attention all the time.
It's an
Sometimes you need to
illusion.
just be with yourself and with your own thoughts and with whatever faith universe that you want to be in contact with, and you don't need all of the other just garbage that's out there.
But here's the thing, Rob. Facebook friendships are an illusion. The
Right.
reason why so many people are depressed and anxious is because they're not connected. Not
Right.
connected to others, right? But they're not even connected to themselves. That's why I
Right.
have the 90-day challenge to self-love ebook. And for those of you who want a copy of that, you need to become a subscriber. Once you become a subscriber, I send that to you. But that is so important. It's that lack of connection. That's why they didn't, because they don't have that touchy-feely connection even within themselves. But anyway, we can go back to that because I want to go through all of this. Okay.
I truly think that when we get to rule number 1, all of these are going to come into contact and into play with each other. So, okay.
Perfect.
So rule number 4, grammar is very, very important. I understand grammar is very important, but what is more important is not letting your friends and not making your friends feel like they have the intelligence of a turnip. You don't need to correct every grammatical error, every punctuation mark that is in the wrong place. You don't need to do it. There is no need for you to go in and make the friendships or the connections you have.
Okay, and we're gonna continue this conversation. I'm gonna go in when we return. Worldwide at WhenYouNeedAFriend.com. We'll be ready for you. Sorry, Rob.
That's all right. I didn't even see it. I was just so into it.
I'm going. If you see me going like this, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the time is rolling. Oh, that was good. That was good. You know, that point of the vague booking is really serious.
It's awful.
If some people,
it's awful.
It's awful. But here's the thing. This is what I've noticed, Rob. You post the is beautiful. Nobody says anything. But the moment you say, nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I guess I'll just eat worms, everybody responds. What's up with that?
Right. It's the Eeyore factor. Like, you know, as soon as nobody notices.
Nobody loves.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a movie from the late 80s, early 90s that I just love. It's really, really cheesy. It's full of celebrities. It's a movie called Soap Dish, right? Sally Field is playing
love it. Love Soap Dish.
Susan Lucci character that's always nominated, never wins the Daytime Emmy Award. And whenever she gets down, the writer on her show takes her across the river into Paramus and takes her to the Paramus Mall. And then stages this whole, wait, you're that lady from that show. And all of these people swarm around her. Oh, can we get your, we just love you. Oh, can we get your autograph? Oh, hold my baby. Can I get a picture with you and my baby? And it's all about getting attention. And so I like to call it the Paramus Mall factor because it's all about going and finding someone to just, you know, dump all of this attention and accolades and love on you. When you know that's what it is, you're just setting it up to get that kind of attention. So
absolutely. I think, you know, you've put a lot of thought into this, Rob, and I'm getting texts from people saying you've put a lot of thought in this, Rob. So it's resonating with people. So that's a really powerful. Am I frozen, by the way?
No, you're Rob, now. You're going in now, but you're
because
okay now.
You're frozen to me, Rob. You're still
I think
in
it's
that
your signal.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you've got full signals. What does mine say on mine? I don't know. Anyway, this is a very unique show, Rob, and I'm so glad of all the people that this could have happened. I'm glad it was you.
Well, you know, because I just kind of go with the flow as best I can. So, you know, these all started, like, I started posting these on Facebook, and my friends were all like, you know, like just different friends from all different places were all like, this is awesome. These are great. And like the last one I posted, my friend, she's a volleyball coach at Eastern Florida State College, Andrea, is like, I am living for these rules. I mean,
it's time for a book, Rob.
I guess so. You know, all of these rules just seem to be like things that you would have thought we would have learned in kindergarten, particularly the whole just be kind. So.
Yes, be kind. Okay, well, we're about to get started. This is our last segment. In my car.
In your car.
Let's dance. I can't see you, Rob.
You're really pixelated, but that's okay.
Am I?
Yeah.
Or leave her a voicemail at
Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. It's what happens when you do the show in the car.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show. We were live in my car in Jacksonville trying to figure out what once being safe, AD, distracted driving. So I'm having this conversation with Rob. Thank God for technology. And I hope that I'm coming in loud and clear for you. We've gone through many of the commandments were now at the top commandments of social media. And instead of saying, thou shalt not do this, we're talking about the different perspective and how to be kind. So, Bob, we are at number 3, because we thought number
Rule
4 was don't correct people's grammar, just let it
Right.
be.
Just let it be. All right. So rule number 3 is, you've been on Facebook a while, and as you're going through life, hey, are you on Facebook? Oh, let me add you. So people come and go in your life. It is not a requirement for you to keep as a friend on Facebook that guy you shared an elevator ride with 10 years ago. This rule specifically came up. I started posting the rules one by one, and this rule came up because a kid that I did a play with years ago, started attacking me, started attacking my friends, telling people that all of these rules were just to shame people into doing what I wanted them to do. No. I mean, maybe part of it is that I want to shame people into, I don't want to shame anybody, but I want people to behave themselves. And be human. Just be kind to people. And so, when you come at me and you start attacking me like that, well, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go. Nobody needs that kind of negativity in their life. So don't feel like you have to keep all of these really loose connections. It kind of also goes back to that whole, if we weren't friends in high school and you didn't treat me well in high school, why do you want to be my friend now?
Correct.
Don't accept people into your life that are going to bring negativity and are going to bring you down and are going to tell you that what you're thinking and what you're feeling is wrong. Just don't do it. I mean, it's good to have conversations and it's good to get perspective and different points of view, but no one should make you feel bad for being who you are and thinking how you do. So.
Yes, absolutely. And so with that in mind, you suggest that we purge some of these people?
Yes, absolutely. It's not a bad thing to really kind of go through and I mean, for lack of a better term, cull the herd. I mean, thin it out a little bit if you need to, and like really kind of take inventory of the people you have in your life, at least in social media. And if they're not affirming you and building you up, or at the very least, if they're the ones that are tearing you down, then they probably need to go, because you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. You don't.
You don't. And, and I like that, you just hashtag sorry boo, you gotta
Yeah.
go.
Sorry, boo. Yep.
Okay, so let's go to rule number 2. Let's go ahead and
So
share what that is.
rule number 2 is, no matter what side of the aisle your politics or your candidate is on, it doesn't really matter. Not every conversation needs to be turned into a political discussion. Nobody wants to read your political commentary on my dinner photos. So just, I'm posting a photo of my, my fettuccine Alfredo. I don't need to know whether you're for or against Trump on my fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
Just take a breath, let it go. It's okay. You're not going to change anyone's mind on Facebook on the pros and cons of any political policy, candidate, elected official. So just calm down.
So here's the illusion part of Facebook. Who thinks that by going on a political rant on Facebook, anything's going to change or anyone's perspective is going to change? If you want to make a difference, get out there in the real world, join whatever camp that you're in, and help with that political person. Or if I agree with it or not agree with it, just go out there and start making a difference. A rant about politics on Facebook will not make a difference.
Lillian, I started writing these because of the slogan, be the change you want to be. And I saw a lot of negativity in Facebook, so I decided to be the change I wanted to be and started writing these rules down. It's the same thing in politics. If you want change, be the change you want to be. So
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to rule number 1. Drum roll.
Hashtag most important rule of all. If you wouldn't say it to their face, don't say it on social media. Don't. Just don't. hiding behind a keyboard doesn't make you clever. It makes you a coward. If you're not going to
Yes.
say it to their face, or even better yet, for my religious friends, if you wouldn't say it to someone's face in front of your pastor, don't say it on social media. Because there are some people out there like, I'd say it to their face. I'd be happy to say it to their face. Fine. If you wouldn't say it to their face in front of your pastor who is sitting there listening to you have this conversation, don't say it on social media.
Yeah.
The name calling has to stop. It has to. The anger has to stop. And, I remember when Facebook was fun and we all just kind of, told jokes to each other and we all got along. And then suddenly we all decided that it was a great way to start talking about politics, except we never learned how to talk about politics because you don't talk about politics and religion at the dinner table. So it's turned into this, it's devolved, and it's devolving us into people who we're less than we should be. Just be kind to each other.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Okay, so rule number 1 is very important. It's made people feel bad. It's called cyberbullying as well. So we need to be very, very careful on what is being said. So let's talk about what we should do. So as personally responsible people on the Lillian McDermott radio show, because all the listeners of the Lillian McDermott radio show are all 100% responsible, what would you say social media should be used for?
Okay, so social media is great for sharing the details of your life, sharing those special moments, sharing the funny moments of your day, not your rants, not your negativity, not how you hate this person or how there are times when I see the things about you're not going to say this to my child, Mama Bear Claws come out. Yeah, have that conversation with school administration. Don't take it on Facebook. If there's a general concern about one of the schools here locally has concerns about a cancer cluster. Those kind of things, it's great for that because you're now informing your former classmates of a problem that could be happening at your alma mater. But
Absolutely.
in general, just be kind to people. Just be kind. You don't need to be negative all the time. And if you're that negative all the time, stay off of Facebook because that's not going to do you any good. You're not going to get any extra benefit out of Facebook because it's just going to give you more negativity. It's just going to feed your negativity. So just.
But you actually, what about these posts, these groups that are private groups that are for different diseases, different conditions, and even those that are supposed to be an information forum turn into insults to one another. Okay. Who's better than the other person?
So we have Florida Today has a Facebook group. It's called 321 Flavor. If you're into food, please check it out. It's a great group. But even within that, you have people who are like, I don't understand why I'm in this group. All it is polls. It's not just about polls. We actually talk about all kinds of restaurants in Brevard County. But you have people that come into these groups and expect different things out of those groups, and then they start complaining because it's not what they thought it was. Okay, if you're in a group and it's not what you think it was, there's a really easy solution. Leave the group. Don't complain about it. Don't pee all over everybody else because they're in this group and they're actually enjoying what they're getting out of it. Just leave the group. You don't have to create more negativity in your life or in their lives just because it's something that you didn't think it was going to be. Just leave the group.
I think what I'm hearing you say, the bottom line is find what you want. Find what you want. So Rob Landers, this has been a great conversation. I'm sure that we can go on for 20 more different of the things that we can talk about.
That's the next one.
That's going to be the next one. And the next movie, we got the next movie already planned. And for those of you, my listening friends, you can use any gift for good or evil. Just be aware. And please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott from her car wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Oh my God, I can't believe this.
Okay, I got to run because
I got to run too.
Big big boss is in the office today. So.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Give my love to everybody at Florida Today. Thank you, Rob. And
All right.
thank you for watching today. Bye.
Thanks, Brian. Bye.
Bye. Bye.